So we do have 2 kids in the Scottsbluff school system. Currently, our youngest is in the 5th grade. So this is actually going to be our last year in elementary, so we're moving on. But I come to you now as a community member, since our kids are out of elementary, that I want to show my support as a community member, that several years ago, when our oldest was just a baby, we were faced with this. Again, there was other community members that were concerned. We went to the meetings before we even knew what Lake Minnetonka was about. We went to the meetings because we wanted our kids to go to a small school. And luckily, our kids had that opportunity. So I want to make sure tonight that other families that have kids coming up have the same opportunity that my kids had going to Lake Minnetonka. So our kids both benefited from the great staff and teachers and the environment at Lake Minnetonka. You've heard how great the teachers and the environment is with the small class sizes and all the opportunities they have at Lake Minnetonka. Numbers show that your enrollment is declining in schools, and last year I was one of those that was trying to ask, what if there's a baby boom? What if we get more kids? And I understand that maybe that just isn't going to happen. But I also see the great work that happened with the preschool, and that facility is great. It looks amazing. So I also asked that question, what if more kids come because they see the potential in the preschool? So what if we do have a little bit increase in enrollment in the district because of that? But I also see the benefits. What if we don't have increasing enrollment in the district? What if we do keep the smaller amount of kids? Maybe more kids don't come in. Maybe that more kids aren't born. But would it be so bad if there was smaller class sizes throughout the district? That why should Lake Minnetonka be so special with all the smaller class sizes? It does make them great. What if all of the schools could benefit from those smaller class sizes? Don't try to force all the kids into one school or even any of the other schools and making the class sizes bigger. Try to keep every class small so all the kids can benefit from smaller class sizes. I'd also like to point out that I think it was somebody mentioned back in February 2021 when they talked about the Rick Miles sent out a letter that talked about the security of Lake Minnetonka, that the future would be secure and we could know that we would have a school to go to. After that letter, our enrollment increased. We were up to around 80 students for the next 2 years after that. And so since then, enrollment has dropped. But a lot of parents have been scared that there won't be a school to go to. So they're choosing to take their kids out. I believe that if Lake Minnetonka had the security to know that the parents had that security, to know that Lake Minnetonka is going to be there, you could have more kids in Lake Minnetonka benefiting from how special it is. And so I ask that you see it not as a burden, but you can see it as something to tout. Everything that's great about Lake Minnetonka, when parents come to ask where their kids can go, you can tell them that we have this great country school, it's Lake Minnetonka, it has a wonderful environment, but you can also tout it along with the other schools that still also have maybe smaller class sizes. So I encourage you to keep it open and to see it as an asset and to keep the kids in mind. That we're here for the kids and the kids are what is important and their education is what is important. Thank you.